Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Fox Sports.
The Rays' 7-game road trip has been a struggle, dropping 5 of the first 6 and falling 3.5 games back in the AL East. Today, right-hander Nathan Carnes will go to the hill, looking to get Tampa Bay back on the winning side of the ledger in the road trip finale from Kansas City. We welcome you to the great Midwest in the city of fountains, Kansas City, Missouri, for the wrap-up game of this 4-game series between the Rays and the Kansas City Royals. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson. I'm Dwayne Statz. Thanks for looking in. Well, the Rays trying to avoid a 4-game sweep here, and they're going to send Nathan Carnes to the mound. Carnes has been pitching extremely well without a lot to show for it.
No, you go back over Nathan Carnes' last 5 starts, and what really stands out, forget the stuff. The stuff's been fine. It has been the confidence and the conviction with which he is pitching. He takes that 4-seam fastball. He'll use it all around the zone. Tries to work down, occasionally pops one up, but definitely on both sides of the plate. And then here comes the power curveball. More strikeouts than innings pitched in this latest run. 34 strikeouts and just over 30 innings of work. But you're right, not a lot to show for it because there has been 0 run support. But that has not fazed him, and he will look to go out there and continue to pitch well and hope for a victory this afternoon.
So Carnes with that 3.21 ERA after victory number 5. He is 4-4 coming in. And Yordano Ventura, just 21 years old, coming off the disabled list. His record 3-6 with an earned run mark of 4.68, coming off a 14-win season a year ago. John Jaso is back and swinging a hot bat, just as the Rays had hoped when they brought him in. Todd Callis will take a closer look at John Jaso's return.
in the outfield of his big league career. Rays and Royals from Kauffman Stadium wrapping up this 4-game series. Jaso did play a couple of games in the outfield in the minor leagues during his rehab to get ready for today. One thing's for certain, leading off, he has been on base at a prolific rate this season. 9 of 11 times on the season he's come to the plate, he's reached base, including this base hit in the game 1 of the doubleheader against Kelvin Herrera, then a double and a home run in game 2. Carried it forward last night, 6 for 8, double, home run, hitting line drives all over the place is John Jaso. We caught up with his hitting coach, Derek Shelton. Here are his early observations.
Well, it's good. You know, we knew when we acquired him that he could hit, and it's just unfortunate that, you know, he got hurt the first play of essentially of the season. But just a consistent swing. He puts the barrel of the bat on the ball. He's been doing it for a while, so it's nice to have him back in our lineup. It lengthens it out, and the fact of the matter is, I mean, he's a professional hitter.
He will be leading things off in 3 minutes and 50 seconds as the Rays try and find a way to win a game here in Kansas City. That has not been an easy task over the last few years. Dwayne Stats and Brian Anderson with all the action right around the corner as Nate Carnes takes the hill for the Rays against Yordano Ventura.
Rays will be facing the right-hander Yordano Ventura as he heads to the mound for Kansas City. We'll take a quick look at the starting lineup for the Rays, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. John Jaso leads off, followed by Grady Sizemore and Evan Longoria. James Loney, Logan Forsythe, and David DeJesus down the middle. DeJesus, the DH. Asdrubal Cabrera hits 7th at short. Kevin Kiermaier 8th. And Rene Rivera, the catcher, bats 9th.
Well, making his return to the Kansas City rotation this afternoon is right-hander Yordano Ventura. His last outing was June the 12th, and that was against the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, an outing that was shortened because of the discomfort in the elbow. Went on the disabled list with ulnar neuritis and activated and making the start here today. Of course, you know he brings the big fastball, power curveball, and a good changeup. That's what the Rays will contend with today.
He will not be 22 years old until the middle of September. And here is the first pitch of this game, presented by Pinch a Penny, and it's the fastball outside, so right off the disabled list, and the first pitch is 96 miles per hour. And finds the zone with one at 95.
And you saw the movement on it. He will throw the four-seamer and the two-seamer, and the velocity on both pitches is excellent.
Now 2 balls and a strike. 75 degrees. Scattered white clouds here in Kansas City for this one. Foul back by Jaso, 2-2. And what a start indeed for John Jaso. 6 of 8 since rejoining the club. He had that one plate appearance opening day and reached on a walk and then sustained the wrist injury. And another hit for Jaso. A base hit to right to start this one. And what a start coming off the DL for Jaso in that Rays lineup.
You still have not seen him out of sync on any swing. And when pitchers make mistakes, and that's what that is right there, that's belt middle. You know, he's been all over him. Short, compact, 2-strike approach, and ropes that ball into right field, stays hot.
He may have to keep those dreads forever.
Well, that's the thing. You cannot make the change anytime soon. Anytime soon.
Not the way he's swinging the bat now.
As nasty and funky as they are, you got to go with them.
Grady Sizemore swings and fouls the first pitch back into the upper deck. Sizemore hitting .265 since coming to the Rays. As you know, he spent the early part of the year with the Phillies. One and one. Fly ball back into left. Dyson will have to go back on the way to the track, and that ball is caught by Dyson. Jaso's all the way around second, and they're going to double him up. Boy, what a catch by Dyson. That ball appeared to be well over his head. He got back there, made the catch, and they double up Jaso.
John Jaso sold out. And because of that reason you're talking about, Dwayne, but watch Gerard Dyson filling in for Alex Gordon, ironically enough, and a perfect over the shoulder. I mean, completely back to the infield, head over, and look at that basket catch. That is an amazing grab, and Jaso was dead meat at that point.
An unbelievable catch by Dyson. He followed Gordon after the injury last night. Fans are still on their feet here. That's the second time he's had to tip his cap, acknowledging the fans. Longoria, there's a strike. Well, last night he made that big play, threw out a runner at the plate, and then hit the inside the park home run.
This is kind of what Ned Yost, the manager of the Royals, was talking about with Alex Gordon, the heart and soul, he called him, of their team, going down with the groin strain. Guys are going to have to step up. It creates opportunities, and Dyson has come up big already a couple of times.
Well, Dyson stepped into that game last night in the 4th inning and threw out Brandon Guyer at the plate on a ball hit to left by Jaso. And there is strike 3 called on the breaking pitch. Longoria out on strikes, and the Rays do not score in the first. We go to the bottom of the first, no score. Another look at that sensational catch by Dyson, resulting in the double play. Already a lot of excitement here at the ballpark. Lineups presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Escobar is going to lead it off, followed by Hosmer and then Kane. Morales the DH. Perez catches. Infante hits sixth and second. Rios, Cuthbert, and Dyson rounding out the Kansas City lineup.
Well, Nathan Carnes will look to continue his strong run. We talked about his last 5 starts in the Open, how well he's thrown the baseball. And these are the season numbers. Just 4 wins to go along with a 3.21 earned run average. But he has been one of those pitchers that offense hasn't helped out a whole lot.
First pitch, and Escobar swinging, singles into left, wasting a little time. He continues to just be a major thorn in the side of Rays pitching.
Let's take a quick look at the Rays defense and see how it's going to line up. Brought to you by BMW in the outfield, left to right, different look. Jaso, Kiermaier, and Sizemore across that infield, third to first. Longoria, Cabrera, Forsythe, and Loney with Rivera behind the plate.
Here's Eric Hosmer. Already Escobar at first. Infield with the shift on for Hosmer. Carnes' fastball was wide.
And you see Forsythe staying in right here. Opportunity maybe to turn a double play. And obviously those responsibilities would then fall to Evan Longoria, who's closest to second base. And that's where things get tricky. You know, when you put these shifts into practice, you've got to be able to work on this stuff, because Evan Longoria, first of all, not often turning a double play at second base, and never, or very rarely, from the angle at which he would have to do it now.
Liner up the right side. That's headed down toward the corner, just fair. Escobar is going to be waved around. He will score on the double by Hosmer. And Kansas City takes a 1-0 lead. Boy, the Royals are right back at it. You talk about a team that takes the game to you defensively, on the mound, at the plate, and that's what they've done so far already.
Attacking Carnes early, and watch as Escobar, a great read. He didn't even look back. He knew that ball was either going to fall in or be fouled. So he put his head down and started running, and guess what? That leads to a Kansas City run. Kevin Cash said it best. This team creates action, and that was a tremendous read by Alcides Escobar.
Well, Lorenzo Cain launches one deep into left center. Jaso will watch this one go. Five pitches in, and Kansas City already has a 3-0 lead.
It's a hanging breaking ball, very similar to what happened with Chris Archer yesterday. Look at that. You talk about getting back-legged by a hitter. Tremendous height to that home run there by Lorenzo Cain, and the Royals all over the Rays early.
Kendrys Morales, the pitch is a strike. Well, Cain came back to their lineup in last night's game, homered, singled, and doubled, driving in 3 runs. He'd had a hamstring issue. He's already homered in this one. 2 strikes as Morales fouls it away. Fly ball center field. And Kiermaier right there for this one to record the first out. Cain's home run, a little over 400 feet, 402 they're saying, and over 102 miles per hour off the bat.
And that's because, you know, that, imagine if he would have had a little bit more trajectory to it. what it would have been off the bat. 102 on what was a lazy fly ball that went 400 feet.
Perez lines it into center, and right there's Kiermaier to make the catch on that line drive. Boy, these Kansas City Royals are coming out swinging, but that's what they do. They don't walk a much, they don't strike out very much, but boy, have they hit in this series.
They are in attack mode. I mean, this team has now scored 28 runs in 3 innings, and well, we're still in the bottom of the first against this Rays vaunted pitching staff.
Omar Infante takes one wide, 1-0. One and one. Ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, you look up and down their lineup and look at their team totals. They're not a patient lot for the most part. They're last in the league in walks drawn. A swing and a miss at the breaking ball. And so Infante is out on strikes. That will retire Kansas City in the first, but not before. They scored 3 runs, 3-0.
Lead as we head into the top of the second inning, and let's take a look at the Royals defense and see how it's going to line up. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield, left to right, Gerard Dyson, Lorenzo Cain, and Alex Rios. Across the infield, third to first, Chesler Cuthbert, Alcides Escobar, Omar Infante, and Eric Hosmer, with Salvador Perez once again behind the plate.
Now you see the missing Gordon out there at all-star in left, and that's a tough turn of events for him individually, and you would think for Kansas City, although they haven't shown that in the immediate aftermath of that injury. James Loney fouling it back. You see Gordon going into the wall in left center field and sustaining that groin injury.
Well, and they graded it a 2+, and you know, when you look at a grade 2 groin strain, I did some research on that because I'd never heard of a 2+, and because it's always been 1, 2, and 3, and they said 2 really can be, you know, a tear. It's a moderate to severe tear that can be anywhere between 10 and 90%. So you would think with a 2+ that, you know, he's past that middle threshold and got that thing pretty good.
Loney grounds it to second, and Fonte makes the flip to first for the first out. And for those here who know Gordon, who have watched him, who play with him, the fact that he didn't get up last night was alarming.
Yeah.
It was a serious injury, and from the beginning, you had that impression with the way that whole situation played out.
Knowing the kind of player he is. And you know what? The severity, it speaks to the fact that the morning after, they were already talking about at least 2 months.
Yep. Logan Forsythe takes a strike from Ventura. Logan at 280 on the year. Hit the inside the park home run last night. And that was the drive in which Gordon was injured. A 1-1 count to Logan. Well, the Rays have seen Ventura before. This is his third start against the Rays. Has a couple no decisions against him, with an earned run average of 327 coming out of those 2 games. Fastball that he throws by Forsythe. It's a 1-2 count. Two and two now. He pitched 6 scoreless innings against the Rays here in Kansas City on the 8th of April in 2014. Cut the miss. Forsythe out of there. Boy, you can tell Ventura is feeling pretty good out there.
He is, and you can tell by the velocity readings, obviously, but how smooth the delivery is. Boy, look at him, just easy. That ball comes out of his hand, it looks like effortlessly, like he's just playing catch with Perez, and yet you're seeing that gun reading at 98 on that particular pitch. No, that's part of the growing process. You start to smooth that delivery out. That ball starts to jump. You got the curveball to go along with it.
There is a breaking ball. Ball 1 to David DeJesus.
Yeah, we were talking about Ventura, and his numbers do not reflect his stuff. 3 and 6, that ERA mid-4s. But it's been an interesting start to the season. Had a couple of starts he left early with injury, a couple that he was ejected from.
This one back course deflected by Ventura to Infante. And boy, I'll tell you, the Royals are doing a lot of things right, and they must be living right. 3-0 Kansas City. Follow the Rays all season with MLB.com At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Rays down by 3. Alex Rios will open the bottom of the second inning. Rios takes a strike. Rios, in all of the offense put on by the Royals in the second game of the day-night doubleheader, and then carrying it into the game Wednesday, defeating the Rays 9-4. Rios played last night, was 0 for 4 in that game, but this is the anniversary of a career day 2 years ago against Justin Verlander. He had 4 hits and went 6 for 6 in the game. 4 of those hits off Verlander. 2-2 the count, taking the breaking ball down and away.
How do you celebrate that night? 6 for 6.
And feeling pretty good after 4 of those came off a pitcher of Verlander's stature.
And realizing, I guess, that you may have bigger hits coming down the road, but you'll never have a better day statistically.
Base hit through the hole on the left side, got it past Longoria, and the leadoff hitter is on in the bottom of the second. Let's check in with Todd Callis right now. Todd?
Dwayne John Jaso fielding that base hit in left field and had never played the outfield prior to today. In fact, his only position he's played on the field other than catcher is a short stint at first base in one game. Jaso said after being engaged with every pitch, dealing with pitchers his whole career, he's completely bored in the outfield. He got to play 2 rehab games down there at the minor leagues and said, I found my mind drifting. I was looking in the stands wondering which vendor was selling the most concessions. Jaso is a free spirit and a curious mind, and you may see him checking out his surroundings more than the average outfielder. As long as he's focused for the pitch guys, everything should be okay.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that and see how things work out there. That's an interesting scouting report from Todd.
Yeah, and if I'm John Jaso and I get wind of that scouting report, I want to go talk to him a little bit. Although he did say it.
Yeah.
You know, his words.
And he'd be the first guy to say, of course I said it. That's what I was doing. 2-0 the count on Cuthbert.
You might want to keep that in your pocket. True or not, you may want to just keep that in your wallet.
He's checking the situation out and then checking back in for the pitch. Into right. That ball is going to drop. It'll get past Sizemore's diving attempt. Rios hitting third, and they're going to wave him around all the way to third, Cuthbert. And now it's 4-0. Boy, this Kansas City attack continues. A triple for Cuthbert. It's his first big league extra base hit.
You know, we talk sometimes about pitchers not establishing anything. This Royals lineup is not allowing Nathan Carnes to establish anything. They are up there attacking early in the count. And boy, having big time success. Grady Sizemore selling out on the dive, trying to make a play for his pitcher, for his team. Doesn't come up with it. Once it gets by him, it's a track meet.
Now the infield comes up with Dyson. Pitch outside, 1-0. Well, Dyson threw a runner out at the plate yesterday, hit an inside the park home run, and made a catch on Sizemore in the first inning of this game in left field, reminiscent of the Willie Mays the catch out of the '54 World Series, over the shoulder back to the infield in left for Dyson. And now he's ahead in the count, 2-0. Now to play, 2-1. Here's the catch in the first inning.
How about this subtle little peek at the wall, and then still able to pick that ball up directly over the top of his body, not even over the shoulder.
You know, the degree of difficulty, two major factors in that, getting back there to catch it over the shoulder, and then to catch it in such a confined area before he hit the wall. I mean, that was an unbelievable catch by Dyson in left.
It's a great catch if you're running in an open field. But you're right. You put the big wall, which, by the way, he peaked at, and still just phenomenal. I mean, this is the way that this series and really this season has been going for the Kansas City Royals.
You know, Mays made maybe widely proclaimed the greatest catch of all time. He had room to turn and throw. And Dyson made this catch in left with just enough room to make the catch between his body and the wall in left field.
And if Alex Gordon is not injured, he's not out there.
Yeah.
The next day.
Full count. Popped up. Forsythe backing up now from second base. And that takes care of Dyson for the first out.
And that's a big out. You got to obviously try to do that again or get a strikeout. But runner on third with nobody. Infield pop-up. Well done by Nathan Carnes. And now you go to work on Alcides Escobar, who has been a thorn.
Well, 4 hits yesterday for Escobar. And he jumped on the first pitch and singled into left today. Going after the first pitch again, which is not uncommon for him, and he fouls it away. His career average against the Rays, and this is no fluke, he's had 105 at-bats against the Rays. He's 39 for 105, hitting .371 off Rays pitching. Popper. Forsythe back for this one and makes the catch. So a couple of pop-ups with a man at third, exactly what Carnes needed.
You say it kind of tongue-in-cheek. Well, he needs to do that again, but he did the exact same thing. Pop up to Forsythe. Well, now maybe the worm has started to turn.
Under the start of this game, with what the Royals have done in the first 3, astounding. Just astounding. Eric Hosmer takes the pitch down and in.
Yeah, you're that boxer that kind of wobbled to your corner at the end of the round, and at the beginning of the next round you just get smoked 2 or 3 more times. Like, can you continue to stand?
2-0. Well, the Rays got down last night, and you give them credit for this. They did battle. I mean, they came back, had the potential tying run at second when the game ended. Got back to make it a 9-7 ball game. That's a strike. And when you're in a stretch like the Rays, that's difficult to do. Now you're battling the opposition, and you're battling that voice inside you that says, are you kidding? We're really in this stretch. It's tough to put that aside. Big swing by Hosmer, and the count is 2-2.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the rest of the afternoon how they respond to this, because you don't feel good about losing a ball game, but you got to feel good about the way that your fight was last night. You're absolutely right. But then you come out in a day game, a quick turnaround, and it's like boom, 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 and here you're down 4 again.
Chop left side. Cabrera to his right. Quick throw, and he is out at first. And boy, that's a play by Escobar. And the great stretch at first base by Loney. Rusty Kuntz looking in toward the Kansas City dugout to see if they want to maybe challenge that one. And the answer is going to be no. Outstanding play by Cabrera to begin with. And Loney on the receiving end. 4-0 Kansas City. Dyson, a big part of yesterday's game. And this one, there's that catch by Willie Mays in the 1954 World Series at the Polo Grounds on the drive hit by Vic Wertz. And now here's the catch by Dyson in left field today. And you can see how close he was to the wall. It was so deep at the Polo Grounds in center. And Mays covered all that ground to get back there, but had some room to maneuver. Dyson, shorter distance and left, and not much room to maneuver at all, and made just a great catch. Cabrera fouling away the first pitch to start the third. Fly ball into right. Rios will back up a few steps. And he makes the catch. We've had some outstanding defensive work already in Cabrera. A nice play to end the bottom of the second inning on that ball hit by Hosmer. And now Kevin Kiermaier. Kiermaier hitting eighth in this game.
Well, the Rays are going to have to make it one of those days where they try and match this Royal intensity. They're going to have to get base runners on. They're going to have to try to make things happen just like the Royals do.
Strike the count on Kiermaier. Kevin hitting .254 overall. Interesting number on him. In day baseball, he's hitting .325, and there's a chopper by the pitcher, and the throw to first in time. Ventura may have deflected that one, and Infante got there and still got the speedy Kiermaier.
It's similar to the Asdrubal Cabrera play in the sense that these middle infielders, the good ones, understand how much time they do or they don't have. And look at that. Omar Infante going down and realizing who's running. There was a deflection, slowed the ball down a little bit. You see a lot of times they'll barehand that ball and get to a more upright position before making the throw. Infante knew he didn't have that kind of time.
Rene Rivera pitches a strike. Well, DeJesus hit the ball hard. That was deflected off Ventura to Infante to end the second. This one, the degree of difficulty much greater on that slight deflection. And Infante still made the play on Kiermaier. Breaking ball in for strike two to Rivera, and he's down 0-2. Boy, you know this Kansas City club is feeling it right now with the display they put on in this series.
They're in that zone. I mean, feel like they can do no wrong. They're playing at a high energy level. They're scoring runs in bunches against one of the best pitching staffs in all of baseball. And look at that.
Well, they're 16 games over 500, which matches their season's high, and up 4.5 on Minnesota. Out on the breaking ball. 1, 2, 3 go the Rays. 4-0 Kansas City. is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by Morgan Auto Group. We're in Kansas City where the Rays are dealing with this red-hot Kansas City Royals ball club. Lorenzo Cain will lead off the bottom of the third. Kansas City up 4-0, and the first pitch is a strike. Cain produced 2 of those runs with his 8th home run of the year in the first inning. He had 7 home runs all of last year. Pitch a little close, and it's 1-1.
It's hard to imagine that that few home runs last year with the way that he's swinging the bat. I mean, with the authority that he's swinging the bat. He's a big man.
And a big cut and a foul ball off his knee.
How do you do that?
I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
The back leg outside of the knee. Well, definitely trying to make him aware of the fastball in, the way that he's been swinging, jumping out over the plate, trying to crowd him, make him a little bit uncomfortable.
Pounds it away. You know, Cain hit those 7 home runs in 2012 in 61 games with the Royals, and he had 16 at Omaha the year before. So he has 8 right now and is out on strikes.
Curveball, maybe he's looking for.
Yeah,
that's the reaction you get from a catcher when he's crossed up, looking for the soft stuff and gets the heater. This is the swing that you'll get. He is sitting curveball, and that's the reaction you get to the heater.
Well, that's believing a scouting report. Down 1-2. Looking for a curveball there.
And that's why, you know, hitters go up looking for the fastball, and you throw the curveball, you try to fight it off. If they make a mistake with the curveball, you should be able to be all over it. And that's why they don't go up typically looking for the off speed, because they don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
Foolish. I think like anything else, you get a gut feeling. You know, I mean, it was, you know, the home run that Steven Souza Jr. hit off Dellin Betances. He gave up a game winner to Brett Lawrie a couple of days later, just a couple of days ago. And Brett Lawrie said that he was sitting on the curveball, looking for the curveball. And he got it. It hung, and he deposited it. But you don't see that often.
Two and one on Kendrys Morales. So Morales has made a big difference in this Kansas City lineup as well, with as productive as he's been. He's 5th in the league in runs batted in, hitting over 350 with runners in scoring position. That's fair. Tim Welke making the call. Morales on his way to second. His 23rd double.
And explain to me how this ball got by James Loney with where he was positioned. I mean, Kendrys Morales smokes this pitch. James Loney is right on the bag. Look where he's at. I mean, he's what, 5 feet, 6 feet max? By the time the ball's delivered, he's less than that. And that's how hard that ball was hit.
Well, Kevin Cass is wondering the same thing. And he's gone out, had a conversation with Chris Siegel, the plate umpire. And this crew getting together.
See, the internals say with James Loney that close to the line, it's utterly impossible to squeeze a ball fair by James Loney.
Well, it doesn't appear they're going to get anything to the satisfaction of Kevin Cash out of that little gathering.
And you could see that was a great shot on just how close James was. I mean, he's right on the line.
So the Royals have another man in scoring position. They scored 3 runs in the first and another run in the second inning. Salvador Perez, the catcher, about to step in. That's a strike. Two now. That takes care of Perez. But coming into this inning, the numbers in this series for them, we were tabulating that, BA. I think 29 runs in 27 innings in which the Royals had hit coming into the third.
Well, they had the 2 games, games 2 and 3 of this series, they didn't have to hit in the bottom of the 9th. So that takes out a couple of opportunities, and then you're just a couple innings into here. So this team has just been taking it to the Rays pitching staff. You know what's interesting though, if you go back to that, you're talking about Lorenzo Cain looking breakable. Think about his 2 home runs in this series. Well, the curveball from Carnes, the slider from Archer.
Yeah.
Deep in the count. Maybe that is part of his game plan. If he's got a guy out there that he knows likes to put you away with a certain off-speed pitch, gets to 2 strikes, then go ahead and sit on it. Or even with Chris Archer, he uses his slider enough.
Yeah, Archer.
It's almost,
could be 50-50.
Yeah,
almost.
absolutely.
And he hit that one last night off a 1-0 pitch, a slider,
which he throws behind in the count a ton.
Yep.
And so maybe he's got the rolling.
We handled by Cabrera. The side is retired. Whatever he's using, it's working.
Yes.
And we go to the 4th, 4-0 Kansas City. The Rays coming to hit in the 4th inning, and it's time to tweet your strongest fan photo Use the hashtag #SSDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Rays facing the 21-year-old right-hander, Yordano Ventura. He's faced 9 men. He gave up a base hit to Jaso to open the game, and then he was doubled off first. Pitch is a strike. So Jaso now 7 out of 9. Oh, 2.
Jaso has seen a lot of fastballs in his return. Pitchers testing him out. The numbers speak for themselves as far as what he's done with those pitches. So now starting to see some changeups here from Ventura, second time through.
Fouls it back. That one hit 99. So you throw the changeup, and oh, here's 99 to follow it up.
And he fouls it off. And that doesn't blow it by him. Boy, you've got to be up there ready for the heat when you're facing a guy like Ventura. When he's reaching those kind of numbers.
And Ventura's throwing strikes. 8 of the first 10 hitters, first pitch strikes. Cuthbert into foul territory, but it's going to sail out of play. Holding the count at 0-2.
Yeah, that's an area that Ventura has been lacking a little bit. And how about this breakout? Change up, and then, well, I don't have to describe those.
One ball, 2 strikes. How easy that is for him.
That's the thing. He's making it look effortless. His delivery, the ball just jumping.
A little tapper grabbed by Perez, and the throw to first. Jaso is the first out in the 4th.
Boy, as a hitter, you got to tell yourself too, not only do you have to gear up for that velocity, but you can't allow his windup and delivery to lull you to sleep, because it's so easy, so smooth, and then all of a sudden, oh, 98. If you do that, you don't have a chance. You just have to know that speed has been popping out of that hand. He's been throwing a lot of strikes early, something that he has struggled with this year.
Now Grady Sizemore. 1 ball, no strikes. Ground ball into short right. Infante positioned perfectly for him. No shift, but Infante was over there on the grass to begin with. 2 gone.
You know, let's take a look at Ventura's fastball. First of all, look at this. Look at the way that he is able to create leverage. That front shoulder, that front arm high. He's going to use that leverage to then come right over the top. And then look at how effortless. It looks like he's playing catch with Perez. And that pitch is anywhere between 96 and 99 miles an hour. That's ridiculous.
There's Longoria blooping one into right, and that's going to fall in between Infante and Rios. Longoria picks up a 2-out single. It's all about the leverage.
It really is. You know, you're able to create that kind of leverage and then work top to bottom. But even so, it just looks like at that point he just going to play a little catch here. I know that was Exmo, but regardless, it just looks so smooth and clean and easy. And
well, just from here, there have been some pitches that you're surprised when you see the delivery, ball out of the hand, and then the reading. You're surprised because of the smooth and almost effortless delivery. James Loney. Strike to Loney. was skipping away from Perez, and that allows Longoria to advance to second on a wild pitch. So the Rays get a man into scoring position with 2 outs in the 4th.
There have been times in this series where this has been the Rays' best offensive play. It's led to runs. It's led to runners getting into scoring position. I guess in a series like this where everything is going the Royals' way, you'll take anything you can get.
A 1-1 count on Loney. 2 balls and a strike. Take all the way in. Foul ball back on the fastball. Going in around 97. So the Rays with Longoria at second base, 2 outs, 2-2 the count on Loney. Rays 6 of 30 in the series with men in scoring position. Loney fouls it back. Another fastball in the upper 90s. Loney now 0 for 5 in his career against Ventura. There's ball 3.
Ventura finding out how difficult it is at times to put James Loney away. They talk about putting a solid at bat each and every time he goes up there, and doing it once again. So fundamentally sound as a hitter.
Way wide, up and away at 97 for the walk, and the Rays have a couple men on. 2 men aboard with 2 men out in today's game and all season long. Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Logan Forsythe contributing to the cause last night, along with Rene Rivera hitting home runs for the Rays. Logan with an inside the park home run. Fastball up.
Having trouble finding the strike zone here. Jumped out ahead of James Loney, lost him behind to Logan Forsythe. You start honing in on that heater and think about getting the head out.
One and one.
And even the way that Ventura snatched that ball back from Perez, he got a strike there, but was not at all happy with the location of that pitch.
Now the fastball, and he misses. 1 and 2. That's strike 3. Fastball at 95. Forsythe caught looking, and the Rays lead 2. Another look at the strikeout pitch. Today we raise up for Lieutenant Megan J. Dillon and the U.S. Coast Guard. Megan has increased security on base by overhauling the unit's entire security plan. Along with that, Lieutenant Dillon is a youth leader at her local church and has completed 3 half marathons and a triathlon. We raise up for our heroes. How do you raise up? Here's Alex Rios beginning the bottom of the 4th. Carnes throws him a strike. It's 36 strikes out of 53 pitches for Carnes so far. Oh, 2. That's a check on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kansas City scored 3 runs in the first. They came on the first 5 pitches thrown by Nathan Carnes. A single by Escobar, 2-0 double by Hosmer, and then a first pitch home run off the bat of Lorenzo Cain. Liner foul. Look out down there.
Ate him up.
Not happy with himself.
Having a little trouble securing that baseball. Yeah, had a beat on it. That just beat him. Beat him high glove side.
Can't wait to get another chance.
I fault the double ear flaps.
It's a foul ball back. Yeah, even as a switch hitter, you never went for that, did you?
No, that was the greatest part of it. I was awful. I was not an accomplished hitter at all, but I did go with the 2 separate helmets. I even had different model bats for what side of the plate I hit from.
There you go.
Took it very seriously.
Well,
me and my 150 average.
2-2 the count now to Rios. Well, you got to give it your best effort.
Yeah.
Make sure you're well equipped.
It was a T141 from the left side and an M110 from the right side. And then you had to remember that when you a little punch out action here.
Yep, takes care of Rios.
You had to remember when they would put you into pinch run, you'd have to go with a right-handed hitting helmet so that the ear flap always faced towards home plate as you were running, in case you got that line drive off the dome. So a lot of thought put into it. That was the best part about playing in the National League.
It's so complicated.
You feel like a real baseball player, even though you weren't.
Here's Cuthbert, the third baseman. The pitch is down. Cheslor Cuthbert. Foul ball and a pretty good cut by Cuthbert. That's foul outside the bag at first. Swing and a miss. Cuthbert after that one in the dirt, the breaking pitch, and he's out on strikes. So 2 gone. Well, let's take a look at the Toyota trend, and for the Rays with Carnes on the hill, not too good right here. No runs of support in his last 3 starts. How about that?
Well, and if you want to take it back further, if you go over his last 34 1/3 innings, they've scored him exactly 2 runs. 2 runs. Of course, remember, he had that stretch of 2 starts where he went a total of 12 innings, and the Rays, they didn't even forget the runs. Not a base run.
Yeah, that's the thing. Coming into this, over those 3 starts, 19 innings of work. He'd given up 4 runs. Fly ball back into left, and that's going to be a foul ball. And not only had the Rays not given him any runs, they had a grand total of 6 base runners in those games when he was on the hill. 6 base runners.
It's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. I mean, you talk about a guy that's finding the wrong day to pitch on. It's Nathan Carnes. Now, the one thing you can say about him is it kind of shows you his toughness, because he's not allowed that to affect the way that he goes out and pitches. You know, he had a rough beginning to this game, but he's settled in nicely at this point, hoping to keep the Royals at just 4 runs. But he just continues to go out and pitch hard and compete, understanding he can't control the other side of it.
Nice and shortening on the bat. 2-1. High pop up right side. Forsythe and Cabrera is going to be Cabrera right by the bag. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals. We go to the 5th. 4-0 Kansas City. The 5th inning, and we'll take a look at today's great moment in Rays history, presented by Geico. And for that, Johnny Gomes connecting a 2-run walk-off home run with 1 out in the 9th. That came off Troy Percival, giving the Rays a 5-4 win and snapping a 10-game losing streak. 474 feet. Still stands as the 2nd longest homer in Tropicana Field history, and Gomes was all about the celebration. Couldn't wait to get it started.
One of my favorite home runs of all time, and not because of the shot. It was because after he hit it, he knew it was gone. It was a walk-off, and he was waving his teammates out of the dugout like, you guys come out here now. It's gone. That's my favorite part of that whole snippet.
David DeJesus will open the 5th. Pitch is down. The 2nd longest home run, Johnny Gomes. The longest, Vinny Castillo, with 478 feet. The longest home run at Tropicana Field. 2-0 count.
Yeah, and as far as the celebration goes, getting it started, what I want to see that wasn't on that is the second half of the celebration. That's the part that I want to see.
I'm not sure there's any video of that.
And if there was, it was destroyed.
2 balls, 1 strike to count to DeJesus. Base hit shot the other way by DeJesus. And the Rays put their leadoff man on base for the second time in this game.
David DeJesus letting that ball get into the zone. Sees it for a long time using left field. He does that quite often. And this is where you got to start to make your move. You know, you're getting to the halfway point of this ball game, down 4 runs. The back end of that bullpen lurking. Not to mention your starter right now, Ventura, is throwing the ball well.
Asdrubal Cabrera 0 for 1. First pitch strike. You know, DeJesus at first, he came into this game just 5 of his last 40. But you know, when the Rays loaded the bases in the first inning of last night's game, he hit a line shot. But unfortunately, it was at Rios in right field. And then he hit the ball that deflected off Ventura his first time up in this game. And Infante was there to pick it up and throw out DeJesus. So he's had to battle to get aboard, and finally a base hit here in the 5th.
Well, right field didn't work. Middle of the field didn't work. So let's give left field a shot.
All 2 strikes. Two and 2. Rays have stranded 2 men in this game. 1 on, nobody out in the 5th. Long one to right. Rios will go back. That ball is going to be off the wall. Played by Rios. DeJesus will go to third on a double by Cabrera. And now the Rays are trying to make some noise here in the 5th inning.
Well, after jumping out ahead, Ventura 2 fastballs that were not competitive at all. It gets Cabrera back to 2-2. He's forced to come back into the zone, and Asdrubal was all over it. Hit that ball well. Thought for a second there maybe had a chance to get out of here. Instead, over the head of Rios, the bottom of the fence. Golden opportunity.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier's the hitter. Kevin goes after this one and misses. Kiermaier came into this game 2 for 2 with a grand slam off Ventura last year and made a bid for a hit. But the ball deflected off Ventura and went to Infante his first time up. This pitch blocked by Perez. 1-1. Cut to miss. 1-2. Grand slam came last year at the Trop. A year ago today, as it turns out. Boy, this state has a lot of anniversaries. Pitch wide. 2-2.
That's that pitch that Ventura has gone to a number of times. He did it with Cabrera too. Ahead in the count, he wants to chase up in the zone, but the hitter, it's easy for them. They recognize that pitch not only up, but way off the plate soon after leaving the hand, so it becomes just a wasted pitch.
Now the count is full. Single by DeJesus. Cabrera has doubled. And that's ball 4. Kiermaier walks to load the bases with nobody out in the 5th. So a great opportunity for the Rays to jump right back into this game.
Well, where Ventura early in the ball game was smooth and easy with the delivery, it almost now looks like trying to overthrow, kind of arching the back. He's pulling off the baseball and leaving a lot of fastballs arm side wide high.
And he gets a visit from Dave Island, his pitching coach. Baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic with home field advantage for the World Series on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 MLB All-Star Game begins next Tuesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Now the base is loaded with nobody out. And Rene Rivera will be the hitter. The pitch is a ball. Rivera homered into right center field in his final at bat last night. A 3-hit night for Rivera. One and one on a big cut and a miss.
Trying to homer to left field here this afternoon. Big spot here for the Rays. Obviously, bases loaded, nobody out. Opportunities have been limited.
Into the dirt, blocked by Perez. He's done that about 3 or 4 times in this game.
Well, he saved a couple of runs already in this situation. Had one of those in the Kiermaier at bat, and then how about this pitch just yanked? Not an easy block at all, especially to control it out in front of you. Two and two. It looked like he threw a changeup.
It did, didn't it? And it's 96.
Yeah.
But with that delivery, it almost looks as if sometimes a pitcher will slow his delivery down.
Yeah.
And oh, he's throwing a changeup.
Yeah.
And this is 96.
Right. That's exactly what I thought, that he threw a changeup there. Well, you know what? Against the left-handed hitter, he tries to throw that fastball. He's been trying to almost create movement by wavering his body. When he's thrown it glove side, he's got to stay behind it and on top of it. And those are the ones that he gets to the proper location with that still very good velocity.
There's ball 3. So it's a full count, missing with the fastball. It's a 20-pitch inning. He made 20 pitches last inning to get through it. Bases loaded. 3-2 to Rivera. And he fouls it back. 3-2 fastball. Three-two. Ball 4 way high, and that's going to force home a run. So the Rays get a run here to make it 4-1 on a bases loaded walk drawn by Rene Rivera. Bases loaded now for the top of the order, John Jaso.
And the wheels are starting to come off here on Ventura, a guy that was pretty much in control of this ball game until this inning. He gives up the hit the other way, allows Cabrera back into the count, and now he's not been able to find the strike zone consistently.
Jaso 1 out of 2. And he takes the pitch wide. Jaso 7 of 10 since being activated from the disabled list. 2-0 and a wide margin on that miss.
Yeah, he's really struggled with command overall in this inning, especially against left-handed hitters. He just cannot drive the ball to its spot. He's opening up, flying open too soon. Watch him really fly open here. Front side, there it's gone, and the ball sails. That's been the theme, and that's why you just wonder if he's going to be able to find it in time before the Rays tie this game up or take a lead. Probably won't even be in at that point.
A 2-0 count on Jaso. And ball 3. So he walked Rivera with him loaded on a 3-2 pitch that was not close, and really hasn't been close on 3 pitches to Jaso. It's a strike, 3-1.
First one he stayed closed on. He finally made the adjustment. Now can he keep it there? And if he does, that's fine, but John Jaso has been swinging a hot bat.
He swings and hits a high fly ball back into center. Kane will go back to the edge of the grass. Tag at third. Cabrera is going to score. And over to third goes Kiermaier. It's now 4-2 as Jaso hit a towering fly ball deep into center to get the second run home.
Yeah, and the thing about it is it was deep enough to move Kiermaier up to third base. And that's a big play too. So with less than 2 outs, you still have a runner down there at third. There's nothing worse than the fly ball that, you know, it's deep enough to score the run, but you keep runners at first and second, and you still have that opportunity for a lot of different options defensively. But here, get another ball into the outfield, get another run.
Grady Sizemore at the plate. That's too low. One and one. Braves with 2 runs, 4 hits. Men at first and third, 1 out. Sizemore is down in the count.
Well, good change up there. Gets the swing and a miss. 89 miles an hour. You don't get that pitch. You don't have a lot of time to sit back on either. Everything's got to be quick twitch against Ventura.
2-2. That one stayed wide, taken by Sizemore.
Now, that was the slide step, well, almost like he's just trying to be quick and then slow with the speed. He throws that thing for a strike. He probably gets the punch out.
And we're at 3-2 now. Another block by Perez. Well, he's over 30 pitches in this inning. He made 30 pitches combined through the first 3. There's 32 pitches in the 5th alone.
This is all about Ned Yost trying to get Ventura through this inning, just hoping that he can get through 5 and then be done.
And a foul ball off Sizemore's foot. It'll force another 3-2 pitch, and Sizemore trying to walk this off.
Yeah, he hit himself solidly right there, top of the ankle, top of the foot.
Sizemore looking for his first hit of the day, 0 for 2, and the count is full. High fly ball into left center field. Dyson will go back for this one to make the catch. There's the tag at third. Kiermaier crosses the plate, and it's a one-run ball game. So the Rays have made it 4-3. A couple of fly balls here from Jaso and Sizemore, accounting for the second and third runs of the inning.
Well, you go back to the Jaso fly ball, deep enough to move the runner up to third, and then Sizemore got a pitch that was elevated, makes it a little bit easier to get into the outfield, and the Rays, well, now down just one run midway through the game.
Evan Longoria takes the pitch in there for a strike. Started him with a fastball at 98. Ground ball toward third, in and out of the glove of Cuthbert, and no place to go upon the recovery. That'll be an error charged to Cuthbert and what has already been a long inning for Ventura will continue as a result of this error.
Yep, should have been out of the inning right here. A little ground ball, a couple of hops. Cuthbert to his left, and he just can't come up with it clean. Overrun it. Rays get another shot here with James Loney, another tough AB for Ventura.
Well, he's made 36 pitches in this inning. Perez goes out to spend a little time with him before they work to Loney. Ventura just off the disabled list. Now at 86 pitches total.
You know what this is? This is Ned Yost putting his neck out there for his starting pitcher, trying to get him to qualify for a win. That's all this is. Yeah, his choice is this: retire Loney, and you're done after 5, and you got a chance to get a win, or Loney base hit, tie ball game, and I'm going to get a reliever.
One strike to count to Loney. He sends a fly ball into left center field. Kane is there making the call and the catch. Rays send 8 men to the plate. They scored 3. Now it's a one-run ball game. To you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Checkers, mix and match our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. In Kansas City, it's a 4-3 ball game now. Kansas City sitting the top of the order up here. Alcides Escobar will lead off. First pitch is a strike. Well, Carnes has given up 4 runs. 3 of those came on the first 5 pitches of the game. That's a strike on the outside edge. 0-2.
Oh, this Royals lineup just really ambushed Nathan Carnes early. But, you know, he was sent reeling, gathered himself, and now is throwing the ball well.
Ground ball to third. Longoria makes that play to keep the leadoff man off the bases this time. Let's check in with our leadoff man. Here's Todd Callis.
Dwayne, you guys were mentioning earlier in the series, 1973 this place was built. Out here in front of the water, spectacular 322-foot water fountains, iconic part here in the outfield of Kauffman Stadium. They refurbished this place in 2009. This is the biggest privately funded fountains in the world. Here's the thing, guys. Winning breeds success. Success breeds fans. And in the stadium, there are over 10,500 fans per game ahead of where they were last year at this point. The fans here in Kansas City in love with the KC Royals. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, and it's a sea of blue here for their games. There's a base hit up the middle for Hosmer on an 0-1 pitch. His second hit of the day.
And they know baseball. They love baseball. They appreciate good baseball. Just think about that catch that Dyson made early in the game and the extended ovation. People on their feet, 2 tips of the cap. This is a rabid fan base right now. Look what they did in the All-Star vote.
And you know, they're a lot like the fans across the state. If an opposing player turns in an outstanding performance, they appreciate that as well. Here's Lorenzo Cain. One strike. Cain homered in the first, struck out in the third. Pops it up. That's going to carry out a play. 0-2. Carnes now just a little bit over 70 pitches. Working 1 on, 1 out in the 5th. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Two and two. In on him, pops him up, foul. That ball's going to be out of play. Rivera couldn't find it. Carnes tried to help him out, but it's out of play. Hosmer the runner, Cain the hitter, 1 out. Kendrys Morales on deck. go 3-2 here to Kane.
Well, I tried to trick him right there with the changeup. You know, Kane has homered on the curveball, struck out on the fastball, and here, after mixing those pitches throughout this at bat, he tries to come changeup, and that ball just sailed off the plate.
And this one hits him. So Hosmer moves up to second. Kane hit by the pitch.
Let's take a look at the full count delivery. That's going to be another changeup. So how about that? Has not thrown too many of those today. And Nathan Carnes here, after working a 2-2 count, stays away from pitch number 1 and pitch number 2 and goes with third option 2 in a row and missed badly with both of them.
There's Kendrys Morales. Breaking ball to start him, and that's in there for a strike.
I think that's like the old school thinking of, okay, whatever you're going to go with on 2-2, that's what you're going to go with on 3-2. And so you got 2 shots to get it right. Just didn't do it.
Fouls this one back. 0-2. Morales has been so good with men in scoring position for Kansas City. Came in hitting .356 in these situations. That was a double and 2 trips in this game. 0-2 the count. And did he go? He did not. The ball popping loose. Now throw down to second. And the runners advance. Hosmer had moved up to third. Kane trailing going into second on the wild pitch. So it's second and third.
Well, let's see. First of all, the check. The ball's in the dirt. The pitch is low. That is a good call. And then as it bounds away from Rivera, the Royals lineup continues to try to make something happen. This time on the base paths, and everybody's able to move up. And now that's going to force with 2 strikes. And here just 1 out in the inning. The Rays infield starts to sneak up, looking to maybe cut down the run at home.
Well, Hosmer is the runner at third base. And everybody up on the infield.
Carnes more comfortable out of the windup, goes to the windup, and he's looking for the punch out.
And Morales bounces it foul. It went breaking ball. So we'll see another 1-2 pitch. The Rays have closed the gap to 1, but the Royals are right back threatening. And Morales fouls the fastball this time.
And that will get a meeting out here with Rene Rivera as they talk about what they want to go with here. Nate Carnes, he pumped up on that fastball, got it up to 95, but Morales able to spoil it. Definitely in 2-strike mode here, trying to drive home a run. This little cat and mouse game.
Carnes dealing with the middle of the lineup right here. Morales, the cleanup hitter. He sends a high fly ball into center. Kiermaier there to get the momentum head toward the plate, and the throw on its way, and it is not in time. Safe to call. Rivera wondering if he caught the plate, but Chris Siegel, the plate umpire, said he did and gave the safe call.
Well, there was nothing that could have been done differently. Kevin Kiermaier with a hose. Watch him get behind this ball and then start working the momentum forward. The catch and release, quick, accurate, strong. Maybe a hair up the line is the only thing that you can nitpick, but you can't fault him for that. This is outstanding effort by Kiermaier. And Hosmer able to sneak in the back door, left hand the plate.
Now Perez, Kane remaining at second. He's going to steal third and does so without a throw. So Kane, who is left at second on the sacrifice fly, steals the base. That's his 17th stolen base of the year. Now he's at third.
Now pick the right pitch to steal on an off-speed delivery, and I'm sure that Lorenzo Cain is thinking on that throw by Kiermaier that had no chance to be cut off. Why wasn't I at third in the first place? So now I'm just going to swipe.
Down the left side, down the line, and that ball is foul. One and one. Ball, 2 strikes. Well, the Rays continue to battle. They got 3 in the top half of the inning. And so often you see good teams then answer with at least a run or 2. And the Royals have come right back with 1 to make it a 2-run ball game.
It's the whole series they've done that. The whole series. That is what has plagued the Rays. Is when they have scored and runs haven't been that easy to come by except for late in yesterday's ball game. The Royals have inevitably answered almost every single time.
Pop up, that's foul.
And that is so deflating. You build up that good momentum. You got good feelings going on. You want to go out there. Hey, come on, defense. Let's go out there, get 3 quick outs. Let's get back here and start swinging the sticks again. And you go out there, long inning, at least 1 run in, looking for more.
Cain's at third. A run is home. 2 outs. A 1-2 count on Perez. He shoots it into deep left. Jaso back, and that one is gone into the bullpen. And so they come right back with 3 in the bottom of the 5th. That's what they do.
Demoralizing is all you can say. You're down 4. You score 3. You're back within 4-3. It's a game again. And Royals right back with 3 more of their own and back to a 4-run lead. Boy, that mistake. You know, they tried to go up in the zone. They're able to exploit him on that pitch earlier in the game, but not there. He gets on top of it into the pen.
7-3. Infante takes a pitch too low. Two balls and no strikes. For Perez, his 14th home run of the year. Two balls and a strike. Popper into shallow right. Sizemore makes the catch. The inning is over, but Kansas City answers with 3, and they lead 7-3. struck early against Nathan Carnes. A double by Eric Hosmer. Then scored Alcides Escobar, and Lorenzo Cain hit the first pitch he saw out for a 2-run home run. Made it 3-0. It was 4-0 when the Rays rallied for 3 in the top of the 5th inning. Bases loaded walk and 2 sacrifice flies getting the runs home. But in the bottom of the 5th, Salvador Perez capped a 3-run inning on a 2-run home run. And the Kansas City Royals reestablish a 4-run advantage on the home run by Salvador Perez. Giordano Ventura gone after 5. Brandon Finnegan will take over on the mound, making his 12th appearance.
Well, this is Brandon Finnegan right out of college baseball, from the College World Series to the World Series. It's been a quick jump, and boy, I'll tell you, he has handled it very, very well. Part of this league-leading Royal bullpen.
Logan Forsythe leads off the 6th. Pitch is in there for a strike. Well, Ventura struggled through the 5th inning, making 38 pitches when the Rays got all 3 of their runs. But he leaves this game with a 4-run lead anyway. 1-1.
And holding his manager in high regard for giving him that opportunity, because there were a couple of instances in that inning or situations that he could have been pulled from very easily.
1-2 the count on Forsythe. Well, that's building a relationship right there.
It is, and I don't. There's no question. You know, when you talk to Kansas City people about Ned Yost and the way that he goes to bat for his players, the way that they have that bunker family type of mentality about how he sticks his neck out for them, continues with them, puts his faith in them. And, you know, more often than not, these guys reward that. You respond to that. You know when it can be pulled out from under you, and your guys saying, "Listen, you're going to finish this, and I'm going to give you the opportunity, you know, to qualify for that win, to get the big hit in a tough situation."
Well, it's telling in this case, a young pitcher, that I believe in you. I think you can get yourself through this adversity of this inning. So go get him.
That goes a long way. It goes a long way with Giordano Ventura. It goes a long way with his teammates that are watching this. It's the same thing that he's doing right now with Alex Rios. You know, there's been a lot of people calling for him to be taken out of the lineup, and he said, "Listen, I'm sticking with my guy. We got him for a reason. He's in right field for a reason. He has a track record, and he's going to come out of this thing." Well, that resonates in a clubhouse.
Three-two, and Forsythe hops it into shallow right for Rios. He makes the catch, 1 away. With the left-hander Finnegan out there, DeJesus, the DH, will be lifted, and Joey Butler's got a hit. DeJesus 1 for 2 today. Butler pinch hit last night and grounded out. Finnegan's pitch is wide. 1 ball, no strikes. A 2-0 count. cut and a miss. Butler on that fastball trying to park one in the seats with that cut.
Yeah, that front side really flying open, something we don't see very often from Joey Butler. More of an up the middle the other way approach. He let it go there.
It's low. Now 3-1. Rays saw Finnegan Tuesday night in the second game of the day-night doubleheader. He pitched a scoreless inning and a third, giving up a walk. 1 out, nobody on in the sixth. 3-1 the count on Butler. And he draws the walk from the lefty here. 1 on with 1 out. Update your Facebook, post a tweet, and take a selfie. Saturday, July 11th, when the Rays take on the Houston Astros. Purchase a social media night special ticket package and receive a Rays selfie stick. For tickets, visit raysbaseball.com/special events. There's Drupal Cabrera hitting from the right side against the lefty. One strike the count. Line foul. 0-2. Well, the Yankees lead Oakland 6-2. That game's in the top of the ninth inning in New York. White Sox have a 2-0 lead at home over the Blue Jays in the top of the eighth. Cabrera out on strikes. Fastball up, takes care of him.
Well, we see this stuff all the time. A pitcher working ahead in the count climbs the ladder. A hitter seeing that ball up close to the eyes goes after it, and he can't get there. Teases you, taunts you almost.
Now Kevin Kiermaier in against the lefty. And a base hit into right. Butler's on his way to third. Kiermaier heads to second, and he is safe. He got in under the tag. Kiermaier hustling his way into second, taking a chance here with 2 outs. And he beat the play at second.
Now, Kevin Kiermaier, we see him do this all the time. This one very risky. And the Royals had a real good chance to get him, but that leg just sneaks in. He keeps it low. You notice he didn't. A lot of times when a guy slides in, that front leg will pop up. Easier target for the middle infielder to get to, but Kiermaier kept that foot down and it was able to get under the tag.
So here's Rene Rivera. Well, let's see if that can inspire the Rays here to try to climb back into this game again.
You know, that play by Kiermaier was borderline reckless. But this team needs a swift kick in the backside, and so he said it's worth it. I'm going for it. That's the way I play. And the slide is what got him in there.
Well, Rivera's down 0-2. It's a 17th double for Kiermaier as the Rays try to create some spark. Taken away off the plate. to the dirt. 2-2. This turns out to be a key spot in this game for the Rays. Down by 4 with 2 men in scoring position in the 6th inning. 2 outs. Butler walked, went to third on the 2-out double by Kiermaier, who really stretched that into a double. Rivera fouls one away. That's out of play. Boy, it has been so tough for the Rays, not only on this road trip, but here in Kansas City over the past couple of years. They're trying to salvage something here and trying to get back into this game. There's a fly ball down the left field line toward the corner. That is a foul ball off the wall, but foul. Very close right there off the bat of Rene Rivera.
Finnegan's going to try to finish him off with the slider down and in. And he got him to swing and miss at this pitch earlier in that bat. But that pitch stayed up. Rivera got the head out and could not keep it fair. It was close, a couple of feet.
That's outside. So the count is full. Finnegan to Rivera, and he got him. Rivera out on strikes. The Rays lead 2, 7-3 Royals. Rays home tomorrow night. Here's what's coming up on Rays Live tomorrow. The pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealer. We'll hear from Erasmo Ramirez, who will be on the hill for the Rays. And Orestes will break down that power-laden Houston Astros offense. 7-3. Erasmo Ramirez squaring off against Colin McHugh. Dallas Keuchel pitches on Saturday when Jake Odorizzi comes off the list. Alex Rios goes after the first pitch and pops out to James Loney. 1 pitch, 1 out. Matt Moore will pitch on Sunday against Lance McCullers.
Well, maybe the biggest surprise in baseball. One of the biggest surprises at minimum. The Houston Astros ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they've continued to hit home runs. They strike out a lot. They hit a lot of home runs. They've got a lot of great young talent, and they pitch.
And if you get a chance later, you've got to check out Evan Gattis, the home run that he hit last night off Trevor Bauer, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That just go check it out. Absolutely ridiculous how he got not only on top of this pitch, but the head out and hit it to left field. So that's what that offense. Orestes breaks down that offense. I hope they carved out an extra couple of minutes for him. May take a while.
Yeah, and where the pregame crew does the pregame show from in left field, they better be careful.
Yeah, yes, and it won't be Orestes breaking down that Houston Astro offense. It's going to be Doug Wechter. And Doug, if you're watching, get to work.
This pitch is down 2-2. We just got that news flash that Orestes has informed everyone he's not going to be around.
Listen, I saw the graphic. You, Ron Berge, did it better than anybody. you will read whatever they print.
If they printed it, must be true.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
3-2 the count to Cuthbert.
I was in my ear. They were like abort on Orestes. It's Wechter. Get Wechter in there. Panic in the truck.
High popper into shallow right. This is Sizemore. 2 gone. So 2 up, 2 down in the bottom of the 6th for Gerard Dyson. Apparently Orestes is headed to Japan. I think it's a straight purchase deal.
Cash and a player to be named.
Yeah.
A broadcaster to be named. I wonder if I have a no trade clause.
Hey, Akinori Iwamura,
yeah,
he could be available. Woo! And Borey, we'd have to have Borey, the translator. So it could be a 2-for-1 deal.
Very entertaining show.
All thanks to all people. And there's a base hit for Dyson. On an 0-2 pitch, he got it to the right of Cabrera. So with 2 outs, speed at first for Kansas City.
Well, Gerard Dyson, a couple of pop-ups today. This is where he's most dangerous. Keep the ball on the ground. He hit that ball hard the other way. But he can really run.
Here's Alcides Escobar, top of the order. Royals have 7 runs, 9 hits. The Rays 3 runs on 5 hits. And a strike to Escobar. Carnes over 100 pitches. He threw 113 in his last start in 7 innings against the Yankees. There goes Dyson. Pitches a ball and the throw's not going to be in time. Dyson now 11 out of 12 in stolen base attempts.
And that one easy. Talked about his speed. Royals with a lead with 2 outs, looking to get another opportunity to drive a man in, and he gets in there quite easily. Nothing Rivera could have done.
And Escobar is hitting over 350 with men in scoring position. He's got one out there with 2 outs right now. 2-1.
And Nathan Carnes down 7-3. Been working hard all game long. This will be his 110th pitch.
And this one will be handled by Forsythe, who throws out Escobar. Kansas City will leave a man, and they lead this game 7-3. Kansas City today. Raise Flex Packs now come with one of 8 great gifts of your choice, starting at just $59. Raise Flex Packs allow you to choose any 3, 6, or 9 games with no blackout dates. Plus, get half off parking when using the funds loaded on your Raise card. For details, visit RaisBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAISE. Houston coming in for the weekend. 7-10 game Friday, 4-10 on Saturday, and a 1-10 game on Sunday leading up to the break. And Ryan Madson, the 34-year-old right-hander, makes his 36th appearance. 1-1 with a 160 earned run average. Top of the order for the Rays. Here's John Jaso leading off against Madsen. He grounds it back at first. Hosmer is going to make the play unassisted. 1 out in the 7th. Well, tomorrow, head over to Fox Sports 1 for a special edition of America's pregame Salute to Victory, featuring the United States women's national team after their historic victory at the 2015 Women's World Cup, with complete coverage of their ticker tape parade live from New York City, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Grady Sizemore takes a strike. Sizemore drove in a run with a fly ball to left in the 5th. Otherwise 0 for 2. One and one.
Well, look at this, Dwayne. Late yesterday, last night's game, it was 9-3. The Rays got it to within 9-7. They only have to get to 7 today. Not easy by any stretch, but you got to hold out some hope.
So you're telling me they have a chance?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
2-1 the count.
And I think it may be slightly better than 1,000,000 to 1.
Well, they didn't give up last night. And they certainly have gone through a very difficult stretch. A little tap. Infante in from the outfield where he was positioned. And he throws out Sizemore. Well, we'll take a look at the American League East standings. The Yankees won their game today. So right now they're 3 up on Baltimore and Toronto and 4 up on the Rays. Boston 5.5 back. The Yankees beat Oakland 6-2. Tanaka picked up his 5th win. And Gardner hit a home run. Brett Gardner hit his 10th home run of the year in that game.
Probably right after he found out that he was going to be added to the All-Star game roster.
Yeah, he'll replace Gordon.
He'll replace Gordon. Adam Jones will replace Gordon in the starting lineup. Gardner on the roster.
Well, we talked about him in that New York series and how important he's been to the Yankees season. Without question, and he's deserving to be on the All-Star team.
I love the fact too that the Yankee PR department had gone to him and had some gimmicks they wanted to roll out to attempt to help him in the vote, and being the kind of low-key, just hard-nosed player that he is, he said he wanted no part of that. He said, listen, I don't even have a Twitter account. So forget this nonsense. I want to make it on my own merits, and we'll let the vote play out like the vote plays out. And here he ends up getting added anyway. Doesn't even have to worry about the vote.
1-2 the count on Evan. There's a ground ball through the right side, and he has a base hit. 2-out single.
Well, here's that final vote. We got a right there. Gardner is in, check mark, and I'm sure that I know in the early voting, Mike Moustakas was, of course, leading. No surprise there, especially because there's no limit on the number of times you can vote.
Yeah, there's a machine operation here in Kansas City going on.
Oh, there is no question. One of these underground tornado bunkers has been fitted with a computer that just spits out Royal names like nobody's business.
Yep, they've got quite an operation.
I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's the boys down at K-Rock, which, by the way, is the greatest rock and roll station of all time.
You've been wired to that the whole series.
So, every time I get a rental car, it's satellite radio, except when I come to Kansas City. I don't want satellite radio here. I want terrestrial because I want to listen to that station. They never disappoint, and I always leave town here with a couple new songs.
One to Loney. 2 balls and a strike. Couple of ground ball outs and then the base hit by Longoria of Ryan Madsen. That takes the count to 3-1. Into the glove of Madsen. Loney hit it on a line and right to the Kansas City pitcher. Top of the 7th inning is over. The Rays lead 1 and they trail 7-3. Kansas City in to hit in their half of the 7th, and it's time to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #SSDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Steve Geltz is the new Rays pitcher. Nathan Carnes worked 6 innings, made 110 pitches, which is 3rd highest pitch count total of the year in a single outing, followed by 117 against Texas earlier this year and 113 against the Yankees the last time out. Eric Hosmer is going to be the first man to face Steve Geltz. First pitch is upstairs. Two balls, no strikes. Geltz worked an inning and 2/3 Tuesday here. High foul ball. Well foul and well out of play.
We talked an awful lot about the Royals bullpen in this series, but what about the work that Steve Geltz has done coming out of the Rays bullpen in a myriad of roles, even asked to make a couple of starts?
It's a strike. Well, he's been willing and capable to perform in all of those roles. Full count. And he gets Hosmer. So a strikeout of the first man he faces. Saturday, the Tigers are in Minnesota to take on the Twins in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1 beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's baseball night in America as the Yankees battle the Red Sox on your local Fox station. It's all this week on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. Lorenzo Cain looks at a strike. He has scored a couple runs. Hit a 2-run homer in the first and scored again in the 5th inning in their 3-run frame.
Now a breaking ball, very similar swing to where he got Chris Archer yesterday. Back leg, high lift. This one to left field. And, you know, really it was an ambush job by the Royals today. Nathan Carnes had been throwing the ball very well coming into this ball game, and they came out aggressive, swinging early, not allowing him to even settle in. I mean, they were swinging the bats like right now, and they cashed in for 4 quickly.
5 pitches into the game, they had 3 of those runs. Woo! There's a strike. Added another run in the 2nd inning. So they wasted no time in putting their attack into action. And that's what this team does defensively, offensively, their pitching, all elements of their game aggressive. And they are, for the most part, an athletic group.
They are. They're young, energetic, athletic. Just start going around. Okay, Dyson out in left field right now, then Kane, Rios. A little bit older, not quite as athletic, but then you start to look at middle infielders. Infante can still move. At Escobar. They feed off of enthusiasm. There's no question about that.
Foul out of play. The high foul out of play. Ball game, bottom half of the 7th inning. 1 out, bases empty. 3-2 count on Lorenzo Cain. Fly ball, right field. Sizemore is there. 2 gone. You know, we mentioned today all of the events around baseball that have happened through the years. You know, this is the anniversary of Derek Jeter connecting off David Price for his 3,000th hit, a home run. And it's also the anniversary of Larry Dierker's no-hitter over Montreal in 1976. He threw a no-hit victory against them with 8 strikeouts. And to me, the interesting thing about that, it's a different game. Morales up here is strike. Money's different. He threw the no-hitter, and I think Tal Smith was the general manager then, and offered him a bonus of, I'm not sure if it was $5,000 or $10,000 for throwing the no-hitter. It was a nice gesture. And Dierker politely refused it and said, that's just what I'm supposed to do. That's why you pay me, and didn't take it. A little different time, different times altogether. One and 2 the count to Kendrys Morales. High fly ball into left. Jaso, not yet to the track, is there to make the catch. We're through 7. It's 7-3 Kansas City. Today's game summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. 7-3, Kansas City leading this game through 7. Nathan Karns worked 6, was touched for all 7 runs, 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 3 runs in the 5th inning. Kane and Perez have hit home runs in this game for Kansas City. The Rays come in to hit with Logan Forsythe leading off the 8th. And he's facing Luke Hochevar. He is pitcher number 4. Change in the outfield as well for Kansas City. Paulo Orlando goes in to play left field, and Dyson has moved over to play center. 1-1. Lorenzo Cain had a little running conversation of some edge going with Chris Siegel. He didn't like that pitch and continued discussing that matter, and apparently he's been ejected. So Gerard Dyson is now in center in the 8th. Orlando in left. Fly ball lifted into left center, and Orlando just in, of course, takes care of the first play.
How often does that happen? Probably not as often as we think, but it does seem to find you when you check yourself into a ball game.
'18th appearance for Hochevar. He pitched an inning in 2/3 Tuesday night. Picked up a couple strikeouts. Joey Butler fouls it away. Butler pinch hit in the 6th inning and walked. Two strikes. Ventura worked 5. The Rays got 3 runs off him in a wobbly 5th inning. He made 38 pitches in that inning, but got through it and pitched 5. He was followed to the mound by Brandon Finnegan, then Ryan Madsen, and now the right-hander Luke Hochevar.
The way that the Royals have scored runs in this series off Rays pitching has allowed Ned Yost to stay away from the back end of his bullpen. Greg Holland's thrown a couple times. He's actually not been very sharp at all. But Kelvin Herrera, Wade Davis, limited use in this 4-game series.
That's ball 3. The count is full. It's a foul ball. We'll do it again on 3-2. Alex Colomé in the bullpen. High foul. That's going to drift out of play. Rays hitting in the 8th. Trying to do something against Luke Hochevar, and nothing yet. He draws the walk. So the second walk drawn by Joey Butler. Rod Dyson, as we take a look at the high def highlight presented by H.H. Gregg. They just don't come any better than that over the shoulder catch right in front of the left field wall by Rod Dyson. An unbelievable grab on the ball, hit off the bat of Grady Sizemore, and Dyson and the Royals turned that into a double play.
And if it's possible, the more that you see that catch, the more impressive it becomes. It doesn't wear itself out at all.
Well, he covered the ground, made it with his back to the infield over the shoulder, and in tight quarters out there before that wall came up on him.
I just can't believe that with those tight quarters, obviously he's wondering where that wall is going to be. And as he's tracking that ball with his back to the infield, he took a quick peek and then right back up to make the catch and avoid becoming one with the wall.
Cabrera sends a fly ball to center field. Dyson puts this one away for the second out.
And you really can hardly blame John Jaso for where he was. I mean, let's play the odds.
Catch,
he's not going to make that catch.
Who makes that catch?
Him and Willie Mays.
That's it.
That's two guys.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier. Here's a walk and a double. Kiermaier, who's been an outstanding daytime hitter, easily could have a 2-for-2 with a walk day going. The first time up, he hit it back the middle, and it deflected off Ventura to the second baseman Infante. It's popped to the opposite side with Cuthbert tracking it. He's got room, and he makes the catch. The Rays are out in the 8th inning. They do leave a man. They've left at least one man on in each of the last 5. And it's 7-3 Kansas City. By Patrick's Tavern, proudly serving Rays fans for 18 years. Come join the party we call Hat-Tricks. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We're going to Kansas City, Missouri. It has been a difficult stay for the Rays here. We're moving into the bottom of the 8th. They trail 7-3, and Alex Colomé will be making his second relief appearance, his 15th appearance overall. Salvador Perez, who homered in the 5th inning, the first man to face Colomé. The pitch is outside. Rays have just one shot left as they attempt to avoid a 4-game sweep. One and one to count. Rays were swept by the Cleveland Indians in a 4-game series. And now they've dropped 3 games here in Kansas City and trail by 4 in the bottom of the 8th. 2-1. In between, the Rays pick up a victory over the Yankees in New York on the final day of that 3-game series. Pitch popped up. A foul ball coming straight back. And the count goes to 2-2.
And that really was the game that you hoped would springboard the Rays into this series. They had been in a tough stretch. They win big on that final day. And now you're going to go into Kansas City, where you've struggled the last couple of years and only won 1 game, and that was a 1-0 game. And it did not translate. Did not translate at all. And running out of time here.
Tapper left side. Cabrera makes the play, and Perez is the first out in the 8th inning. Well, the breakout for Kevin Cash and the Rays here at Kauffman Stadium extends beyond Kevin's managerial tour here. The Rays coming in since 2012, dropping 11 of 12. That only win that you mentioned was that 1-0 win, and that was the game that Ventura pitched against the Rays. 1-0 the count to Infante.
And although the numbers aren't quite as bad, if you just go back over the Rays' last almost 3 weeks now, last 18 games, if they don't pull this one out, you're talking about 3-15 with some ugly numbers. Offense not getting it done, not scoring runs. Runners in scoring positions been a struggle. Starters have been okay. Bullpen has been not very good.
Well, the Rays today 0 for 3 with men in scoring position and 6 for 33 for the series. Base hit into right for Infante. So a 1-out base hit for Infante. Reminder of the Rays live postgame presented by Checkers, where Rich and Orestes will anchor the coverage. We'll again hear from Kevin Cash, and Todd Callis will have interviews from the clubhouse. We heard Kevin talking last night, and it's a familiar refrain. The Rays try to get out of what has been the spiral. Alex Rios takes a strike. Headed up the middle into center field. Infante stops at second, and Rios has his second hit.
Right back through the box. Look out. Almost caught second base there. The Royals just don't quit.
Well, Colomé was touched for a couple runs in 2 1/3 innings and 5 hits here Tuesday night. 2 men on with 1 out in the 8th inning of this game. Chesler Cuthbert about to step in. He's 1 for 3 today. That hit was his first big league triple. His first time up. Want to know the count. White Sox have beaten the Blue Jays 2-0. Samardzija the winner and R.A. Dickey the loser. One and one. Base hit through the hole in left. Infante's headed to the plate. He's going to score now. Throw back to third. They're going to get the runner there. Rios cut down at third. A run scores as Infante crosses the plate, making it 8-3. So it's a base hit and a run batted in. And out of that, a run scores. The put out at third base goes from Jaso to Rivera and back down to Longoria. And the rookie Cuthbert gets an RBI. You know, Cabrera took that play at third. So it's 7-2-6.
A lot of moving parts.
Well, the first pitch into Dyson is a strike. So Cuthbert picks up his second run batted in of the day. On the base hit to left, he's now at first. And it's 8-3. Oh, 2. One ball, 2 strikes away. It stacks up right now. With the Yankees winning, they have a 3-game lead over Baltimore, 3.5 over Toronto, 4 over the Rays right now, and 5.5 over Boston. Two and 2. Chop headed toward the middle, backhanded by Forsythe. Safe the call at second base. Cuthbert went sliding in and he beat the play.
And that was the only chance that Forsythe had. That ball being chopped like it was up the middle. No chance to throw out Dyson. You got to win the race to the bag. Oh boy, that was so close. As Forsythe is coming down. Maybe worth a look.
Tim Timmons on the call.
Or not.
So Dyson has himself an infield hit. 2 hits in this game. 4 hits in the inning. Now off Colomé. Here's Escobar. Ground ball shortstop. Cabrera to Forsythe for the force. Royals score a run, and they'll take an 8-3 lead into the 9th. Rays will be headed home tomorrow to entertain the Houston Astros. Our coverage on Sun Sports begins at 6:30. And Erasmo Ramirez, who has been simply outstanding over his last 7 starts, 5-1 with a 118 earned run mark. Ramirez will be opening that series for the Rays, looking for his 8th win overall. Colin McHugh will oppose him. Jake Odorizzi will be coming off the disabled list to pitch Saturday against Dallas Keuchel, Lance McCullers, and Matt Moore, the Sunday matchup. That series leading into the All-Star break.
Boy, Saturday, that's the marquee. I'll tell you what, you're right about Erasmo Ramirez. He's just been an assassin. Just calm down, big fella. Stay in your lane. Worry about the mound. Although he's saying, listen, I could add some pop to this lineup.
Choke up a little bit. Hit the right.
Look at him. Very serious. Here it comes.
Rene Rivera opens the 9th inning, fouling away the first pitch.
Now
Kevin Herrera's in there.
He's hitting lefty now. He's switch hitting down there.
You hit left-handed, protect that pitching arm. One and one to count.
No, you know what? If he hit left-handed, he'd expose it.
Oh no, yeah,
have to go righty.
Yeah, because you want that left arm in the.
I did the switch hit thing.
Yeah.
And at one point they said, you stick to one side and pick your side. So I picked right-handed because I'd hit a home run left-handed, and I wanted to leave with hitting a home run right-handed, and I had more power right-handed.
Escobar from deep short will throw out Rivera. He had Rivera running, so he had time, but he still had to get there to make the pickup and make a beautiful throw to first.
Yeah, that's the key. You can have all time in the world, but you got to get there like you said, and then the throw, as you're moving away from first base, has to have enough air under it and has to be accurate. Check and check.
So now it's John Jaso. So you hit right-handed, expose your pitching arm.
I did.
All trying to hit a home run.
But I had the body armor. I had the big elbow guard. Looked very professional. I mean, what was it going to do? Cost me a little velocity? I mean, really? Wasn't real worried about it.
To strike 1-1.
But
it'd be nice to be able to pay off that story and go, you know.
No, the furthest balls I ever hit were right-handed.
Yep.
And the one home run is left-handed.
Yeah.
So it never happened. Although my best bowls were right-handed, but they were into center field. But I understand it, and the whole reason I like to switch hit and understand why guys do. You hate that feeling of the pitcher's arm right on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I would hit right-handed against right-handed pitchers and they throw you that slider, forget it. First of all, the hand's kind of out here right on top of you.
Yeah.
And then they're snap-dragging down and away just because they can. It's not fun.
Yeah.
You get an appreciation for really good hitters and how good they really are.
One out, 1-2 the count on John Jaso. The Royals trying to go a season's high 17 over 500. In pursuit of their 50th win, Jaso fouls another one out of play. Well, here's something about last year and how this team really made a charge. They didn't get their 50th win last year until July 23rd, when they got to the 500 mark at 50-50. They were in third place, 7 games out in the AL Central then.
And they haven't stopped since then. You know, rode that momentum to the playoffs, through the playoffs, into the World Series, and right out of the gate, where they start the season 7-0, and then the closest they came back to 500 was, I think, 7-2. And it's just been all upshoot from there.
Jaso against Herrera. Fouls it back. Herrera 99. So they started with Ventura and his 99. And now they have Herrera in here in the 9th inning throwing 99.
How does that 99-mile-an-hour sandwich taste? Right now, not so good.
High fly ball back into center field. That's Dyson going all the way to the track for this one. And he makes the catch. So the long fly ball is out, number 2. Bases empty with 2 outs. The Rays on the verge of a 1-6 road trip and a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Kansas City Royals. Grady Sizemore bats with the bases empty, and he hits a high fly ball into center field. Dyson will go back for this one, and that's the ball game. A 1-2-3 9th inning, and the Kansas City Royals have beaten the Rays 8-3. Back for the totals in a moment.